And then he's trying to suggest that a plumber is the guy he's fighting for. How many plumbers you know making $250,000 a year?
All right, I don't have to tell you, Joe the Plumber has received a lot of attention since his conversation, really just a question that he asked Senator Obama. Even the late-night shows are talking about him. Take a look. Huh. Oh, I'll reenact that later.
Yeah.
Although he...
You play Letterman, I'll play Leno.
Okay, but basically, here's the point. Joe the Plumber is here with us. And, Joe, we're so grateful that you've come in to talk. The blog is going crazy that you're here, and I'll ask you their questions in a moment. But what has it been like to have your name mentioned by the presidential candidates so many times in the past 4 days?
Yeah, overwhelming. I mean, really overwhelming. A little upsetting, but overwhelming.
Yeah, upsetting in what way? I mean, we know that you were out doing a lot of interviews. There's reporters camped out in front of your house. Is it upsetting in that way the attention has gotten away from the actual question that you originally asked Senator Obama, which we played, or is it now focused on other issues that you wish weren't being talked about?
Well, you know, people can dig in my life. I mean, you know, it's not like I'm all that important. It's just, I mean, you know, Obama and John McCain, I mean, they got a job to do come November 4th. And I mean, you know, here they're talking about me, and I just, they really, you know, the whole scope of things. Well, go ahead.
Well, no, is it because we have somebody who wrote us on one of the blogs and on our Twitter account said, because they're talking about you because of this, and this guy writes, the Bass writes this, Joe has become the voice of Americans. To him, he says, tell him to keep it up, we appreciate it. So you've become sort of emblematic of what each candidate sees as perhaps the voice of America. Do you believe that?
Gosh, if I had that much influence, wow, you know, I'd run for president, you know, but no, I mean, middle-class people, I mean, I'd like to see more people show up for vote, you know, God, wouldn't it be incredible to have 75% of Americans actually show up and vote?
That'd be incredible.
I mean, you know, where would it go? I mean, would it be Obama, would it be McCain? I mean, you know, a lot of my friends, family, and people I know, you know, when we talk, you know, we're average people. I mean, we believe in, you know, good, what's right, what's wrong, and just to actually get that many people out to vote, I think it would really be just an incredible thing. So that's what I really, you know, would push. I mean, get out there, understand the issues, and then vote. I mean, you know, really vote. That's why I was in the military for. I mean, that has been important to me ever since I was a little boy. I mean, we get to actually pick our leaders instead of, you know, having them shoved on us.
Joe, you know, you're a modest, almost shy person, very understated person. I had the opportunity to meet your family outside. Did your feelings get hurt when you see Senator Obama kind of take off the gloves in a way that he's taken off the gloves about you? Well,
you know, he's yeah, I'm sure Obama has sacrificed some things in his life to get where he's at. To use me to go a little further, you know, I'm a very small stepladder, honestly. I mean, don't try to use me. You know, the $250,000 remark, I don't make $250,000. You know, I've never even come close to that, nor will I. I mean, I'd have to work, you know, I don't know, 10 years to get that kind of money, maybe more.
So that criticism is absolutely false.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And you never claimed to make $250,000.
No,
you said there was a company that makes about that. And it's funny, Joe, so many people around the country have felt sympathy for you since you've had your personal life sort of revealed on national television. And I know that a lot of people have offered to help you pay off some money. Will you take anybody up on those offers?
You know, I seriously doubt it. That don't sit well with me. You know, I was raised to work for what I get, and you know, I got 2 strong legs, 2 strong arms, and a good back. And I mean, you know, right now, you know, my company's shut down. So, but you know, one way or another, even if I got a clean toilets, you know, I'm going to make the money to, you know, pay my house payments, my back taxes that I didn't even know I had, and you know, so I mean, I guess that's kind of good about, you know, that coming out. That way I can get that done. But.
I guess if it's ever good to find out about back taxes.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: I'm following what the viewers are asking this morning, and I'll try to do that for you. Here's Babbling Brook. She writes this question on Twitter. She says, "Watching Fox and Friends, would you please ask Joe if he has any more questions for Barack Obama? You got 1 question on him. Do you have any more that you'd like to ask the senator?"
Well, just. Oh gosh, you know, I fell on the spot now. You know, I had 20 when I walked up to him, but right now, just you know, being on TV and everything is a bit overwhelming. You know, one thing I wouldn't mind saying though is, I mean, when you know a public or a private person like, you know, just anybody in America gets all this attention for asking a question, when we're not able to ask our question or our leaders questions, that's scary. I mean, right. You know, that's you know, then you're not allowed to do that in Cuba. If you do that in Cuba, I mean, you get shot, killed, you know, in prison. I mean, you're supposed to be able to always ask your leaders questions.
Well, I mean, you've acted with a lot of courage. Are you afraid sometimes when you turn on the TV and you see these massive forces in the media, and then Senator Obama himself focusing all this effort about your personal life, about your taxes, about what you know about plumbing and who you are?
Well, you know, I think it's kind of taken away from the issues. Maybe, you know, maybe that's what he wants to do. That way McCain can't get his message out. Or, you know, if they keep on focusing on me and not the actual real issues of the campaign and what America really wants to know about, then, you know, one or the other may slide out.
Joe, here's a question from Ed Reining. He wants to know if, in your opinion, do you believe that either of the candidates' campaigns were behind how you were depicted in the media?
Oh, no. I think the media pretty much did that all by themselves. You know, I don't think. I hold no animosity towards either one of them by no means. No.
Is this country about spreading the wealth? Should the government be spreading your wealth, Joe, especially the wealth that you haven't gotten yet? Should they be spreading that around to other folks?
No, they shouldn't spread the wealth around. I mean, I believe in social programs. I grew up poor. I mean, we were on welfare for a little while until we could get back on our feet. So I believe in that strongly, but I don't believe in handouts. I believe some type of step program. I have friends that if they start to make $5 too much, well, then their child support or their child care is taken away. That stuff is wrong. You can't. If you're going to help somebody, actually help them out and do a ladder or something like that. Right. Don't sit there and say, well, okay, now you make this much, so I'm going to take your food allowance away. You make this much, I'm going to take this. Because that puts them right back in the boat. You don't give them any reason to want to work.
A helping hand instead of a handout.
Exactly.
We had somebody writing to ask you the burning question a lot of Americans want to know this morning, Joe. Why do plumbers not wear belts? Can you answer that question for us? Because a lot of people are asking.
I wear a belt every day. My favorite tool is my Leatherman on my side of my pouch here, and then I have my flashlight. So I wear a belt as far. But the whole plumber's crack. Be honest with you. Electricians, they wear belts, and they have all these tools right there. And all my buddies that are electricians, I'm always telling them to pull their britches up.
So there could be a war between the electricians and the plumbers on who
some plumbers might, but I never want it to be a cliche.
You haven't become one. And here, this is last from Lana. I'd like to say thanks to Joe for standing up for America, being under the media microscope, listening to the jabs and the nastiness. That is one heck of a patriotic thing to do. And
oh gosh, I appreciate
carried yourself
that.
so incredibly.
And we thank you, Joe, for coming in and talking to us.
All the credit goes out to my parents. I mean, they've raised me, and they put me in line when I needed it to, and I love them to death. So.
All right, well, you'll be around for more plumber questions as well in our green room. Thanks so much for coming in, Joe.
Thanks,
you
Joe.
guys are very